Hi, I'm Nathan Postlakis,
I'm Declan Marshall.
and today we're going to be talking about the slave trade in the 1800s. So, Declan, where did slaves originate from?
So slaves have been used all over the world for many years before the slave trade was made legal. Slaves were an effective way of completing tasks with not having to pay for labour of white men, for example. Slaves were seen as lesser human beings and didn't have the equivalent rights of a normal merchant or a normal sailor. Slaves could be traced back to the Bible text as written in the Bible. Seen in multiple scriptures throughout the Bible, including Exodus, where Moses saved the slaves from Egypt, from their chains and shackles. Most slaves are kept in chains and shackles because they tend to run away.
Thank you for that.
Hi Nathan, how you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
It's us again, the World Heritage Centre. We're going to be talking about slaves. Nathan, how were slaves during the Atlantic slave trade people captured?
While slaves during the Atlantic slave trade period were captured by use of force, strong force, either being hunted down by their own kind. Some were also captured in raids along the coastal line. Some were kidnapped during battles. But most slaves during the period of time were kidnapped and bought from the local African European dealers because of the fact that they were in debt to someone and were being punished for doing the wrong thing. And Declan, what conditions were slaves transported in?
The captives will march to the coast and often endured long journeys across sea for weeks, even months, shackled to one another in tight places. At the coast, they were imprisoned in large stone fronts built by European trade companies or in smaller wooden companies in wooden compounds for the lesser rich sort of companies. With little hygiene and filled with disease, the odds of surviving the actual trip were less than none.
It's terrible. Hey Declan, I was just wondering, who was Abraham Petrovich Gannibal?
Abraham Petrovich Gannibal was an African slave who was brought to Russia by the Peter the Great, also known as a Great Slave, and became a major general, military engineer, and a governor of Revel. He was a well-known man and a well-respected man in the area. He is perhaps one of the best known today as the great-grandfather of Alexander Pushkin. Alexander Pushkin also wrote a book about him in his later years about his life. The book was named The Life of the Great Negro.
And I heard about Nat Turner. My mate was talking about him the other day, and I was just wondering, what relevance does he have to the slave trade?
Nat Turner had a big relevance because he was a black preacher who led multiple uprisings, but his first one was in 1831 in Southampton County, Virginia, in which at least 55 whites were killed.
That's a lot.
By a group of about 50 slaves that he led. Turner was a deeply religious man who claimed to have visions and directives from God. And he went on a murder spree one night with 50 other slaves and killed 105 white children and women. So he believed the reason he did this was a message from God saying that he needed to free the people.
Yeah, big relevance. Big relevance. That's me.
Do you know anything about what work the slaves did in America?
Well, they didn't really have a say in what tasks they were required to do, and they had no control. But many of the slaves were bought to either do like hard labour, so farming, and a really important part was picking of cotton, which, if anyone else knows, that cotton's grown in little like balls like that, and they have spikes all around. So it was like really dangerous to pick the cotton out, and that's what most farmers were paid slaves to do. Well, they weren't really paying them, but they were giving them food. And a lot of other farmers got slaves to harvest sugarcane, tobacco. It's really much just the whole farming business in
general.
In general, yeah, the whole farming business in general.
Do you know anything about when the slave trade ended?
Well, the first part, in Denmark, the slave trade ended in 1803, and in Britain, it ended in 1807. And then other countries in Europe and the Americas started to get rid of the transatlantic slave trade for a variety of reasons, including changing to the economic requirements. However, it became illegal, but therefore it still continued for many years. And slavery itself was not got rid of in some countries until the 1880s. And in Brazil, example, slavery is continued to be legal until 1888, which is really poor.
Really, that's just really heartbreaking.
Thanks for talking to me
Thank
today.
you very much.
Been a good time.